Voices in the Dark by Winslow Swan. Audiobook narrated and produced by Edward James Beesley.
Come on, Anne, it'll be fun.
Carly pulled on Anne's arm, tugging her along the midway of the county fair. The Saturday night crowd was happy and jolly, and Anne noticed many of her high school classmates, some arm in arm, others laughing and pointing at the many rides and trying to decide which ones to challenge first.
Carly, you know I don't like it,
Anne told her best friend.
It's just a ride, Anne, like any other ride here,
Carly told her.
Besides, we're here now.
Anne looked up at the grotesque motif on the ride, simply called Haunted. The skeletons, painted on every inch of metal, danced around ghosts and goblins. Grinning devils seemed to leer at her, and she felt an odd shiver run up her spine, making her visibly shake.
No,
Anne told her.
Oh, geez, Anne. You've got to get over this fear that you have,
Carly said, whimpering a little.
Carly, you of all people should know why I don't go into these rides,
Anne said, her voice edgy and shaking.
Yeah, I know, but that was like a long time ago. You were, what, like 6 years old? You're 16 now, in high school, and doing very well. The only things that are in there,
Carly said, pointing at the ride,
are papier-mâché monsters and some tapes of Halloween sounds. Fine, then you go. I'm not stopping you.
Carly looked at the ride, then back at her friend.
Look, I have to go to the bathroom. Just give me a few minutes and then we'll decide.
And with that, Carly left Anne standing in front of the foreboding ride. Anne sat on one of the many benches that the Lions Club had put around the midway. She stared at the people that were boarding the cars, taking them through a large metal door painted a blood red. A sign warned the passengers to keep their arms and legs inside, lest the monsters get them. Her mind drifted back. 10 years before, her sister, June, had taken her onto one of these same kinds of rides. Somewhere within the darkness, June had vanished, leaving the 6-year-old girl alone. At first, everyone thought it had been some joke that the older girl was playing on her sister. Her body had been found under a plank while the workers were dismantling the ride, getting it ready to transport to the next town. June's neck had been sliced practically all the way through, her head nearly hanging off her body. Her clothes had been ripped and torn, and her stomach had been sliced open. The sheriff's detectives had detained everyone from the fair, but no one had heard or seen anything. Eventually, the murder was chalked up to an escaped lunatic, someone who had never been caught even after 10 years. Anne fought back the tears as she watched the happy people enter into the dark cavern, listened to the screams and squeals of delight, watched those same people disembark after the ride and head off for some other thrill around the midway. She thought about how beautiful her older sister had been, and the fact that the coffin had to remain closed due to the extreme brutality of the crime.
Hey,
Carly said as she returned, making Anne jump.
Come on, what do you say?
She asked Anne.
I know it's silly that I really should go on the ride, but I can't,
she told her friend.
Okay,
Carly acquiesced.
Maybe tomorrow night. After all, it is the last night of the fair, and there won't be many people around here or on a Sunday. Yeah,
Anne answered.
Maybe tomorrow night.
Anne dreamed of her sister later that night while trying to sleep. The nightmares had stopped about 7 years ago, but now, after going to the fair for the first time since the murder, They had come flooding back.
Anne, wake up!
Her mother yelled, shaking the girl awake.
You haven't done that in a long time,
her mother told her.
I know. I guess it was all the excitement of the fair.
Anne lied.
That or too many chili dogs,
her mother said with a smile, although deep down she knew the real reason.
I'm okay, Mom,
Anne reassured her. The following night, Anne met Carly at the front gate, and the two friends made their way back onto the midway. Carly had been right about the scarcity of the crowd. There were hardly any people waiting at any of the rides. After a turn on the Ferris wheel, a small roller coaster, and the spinner, the two girls found a bench and sat down to a plate of hot dogs and drinks.
Feeling any better?
Carly asked.
Actually, yeah, I am,
Anne said as she bit into her hot dog. A glob of mustard adhered to her lip.
Good. So, do you want to try Haunted tonight?
Anne paused mid-bite. She knew that Carly would eventually bring up the subject and had even planned on an excuse as to why she wouldn't go on the damn thing. Seeing her friend's expectant face, she smiled.
Okay, you win. Well, let's finish these and go,
Anne said, trying to sound cheerful, but not really succeeding.
Yes,
Carly said, taking larger bites. The two girls made their way to the ride. The closer they got, Anne's sense of foreboding grew stronger.
Carly, wait,
Anne said, stopping a few feet from the queue line.
No, listen, Anne,
Carly began.
It's time you grew up. Yes, what happened to your sister was awful, but it's time that you got over it. Like, conquer your fear and get on the damn ride. I just can't,
Anne said, her lower lip pouting slightly.
Fine, I'll go by myself.
With that, Anne was left alone, watching as her friend boarded the car and disappeared behind the giant red door. In what were only a few minutes, but to Anne seemed like hours, Carly appeared, laughing and smiling as she approached Anne.
Nothing to it,
Carly told her.
What's in there?
Anne asked apprehensively.
Just the usual crap, skeletons and ghosts and zombies and vampires. Is it really dark?
Anne asked.
Yes,
Carly said.
It is really, really dark. The only lights are the ones that are shining on what the designers want you to see. The whole thing lasts only a couple of minutes, so go on. You're coming with me, right?
Anne said, her voice childlike.
No! You had your chance to come with me, and I don't want to go on it again. Besides, Brad is standing over there, and he wants to talk to me, so, see you around, kiddo,
Carly said with a wave of her hand and rushed off to join her boyfriend.
Hey, Anne?
Carly came running back with her purse.
Take care of this for me, will you? Brad wants to take me on the loops, and I don't want to lose it.
Again, Carly rushed off. Anne looked at her friend, then back at the ride. Carly was right, of course. It was just a great big metal box with a bunch of Halloween garbage designed to make you jump. Loud buzzers and flashing lights shouldn't scare anybody. Anne took a deep breath and made her way to the ride. She looked around one last time at the happy people on the midway, saw Carly and Brad standing close and waving to her, Carly smiling a little too broadly. The car Anne was riding in bumped the large red doors, and she was plunged into darkness. She could still hear the sounds of the fair just beyond the walls as the car moved slowly up a steep ramp. A loud buzzer made her jump, and she laughed a little at how easily she had been frightened. A skeleton fell from the ceiling in front of her, its articulated arms dangling by its side. Around a corner, another buzzer went off, and a blue light came on, revealing a monster carrying a girl to some unknown place. Carly had been right. She was being childish about the whole thing, and it was time that she got over it.
I'll be waiting for you.
The voice seemed to come from directly behind her. Another tape recording that would have scared the average person, but now Anne was determined to make it through the ride.
I'm so close, Anne.
What does it say? Did it actually just use my name?
Anne thought to herself.
I'm practically behind you, Anne.
There it was again. Anne listened hard to try and hear someone breathing or perhaps getting into the car with her, but there was no one there. She could only hear the disembodied voice calling her name.
Anne, you were so pretty when you were 6. Don't you remember?
No, it couldn't be.
She thought. Her breathing became heavier, and she could feel her heart pounding.
Just think what it will be like when I get you, Anne.
She waited for the man to grab for her, to yank her from the car, to feel the cold blade bite into her neck, just as it had done with her sister so many years ago.
Are you afraid? You should be. I'm right here.
She felt the brush of a hand against her skin and screamed. As the car left the darkness and came onto the loading platform, she was still screaming. Who put this in there? The sheriff's deputy was looking hard at Carly.
It was just a stupid joke,
Carly said, the strobing lights from the ambulance bouncing off her face. A joke, huh? The sheriff told her. What the hell happened in there? The operator of the ride asked. You got something in there that actually touches people? The sheriff asked. The operator, a rough character named Joe, scratched the day-old stubble on his chin.
Yeah, now you mention it.
Joe told the officer.
Yeah, I do. I just added it tonight, you know. Being the last night of the fair, I wanted to give the ride a little extra scare. So I hung up a piece of cloth right about where the person in the car would go under it. Oh, it's a creepy feeling when it touches you.
And what can you tell me? The sheriff said, looking at Carly.
I gave Anne my purse. I put a recording of Brad, that's my boyfriend, seeing a bunch of creepy stuff. I tried to time it where I could press the play button, but the voice wouldn't come on until she was actually inside. It was just a stupid prank.
The sheriff gave Carly and Brad a hard look.
Well, I don't think that I can press any charges, but that isn't important right now, is it?
The sheriff said. Carly looked back at the ambulance as the attendants closed the door on the screaming girl.
Epilogue. The butler did it.
Have you heard any good books lately? Audiobooks from Winslow Swan, now available on Spotify.
You can help support the channel and visit our merchandise store. T-shirts, caps, mugs, and so much more. Now available at doorwaytonightmare.com.
Hey guys, this is Crimson.
And this is Swan. And we'd love to know what you think of the stories.
Even if it's bad.
So leave us a comment.
Or give us a thumbs up.
Thank you.